Welcome back to DajibanLife. I'm here today. I am just doing some general maintenance, doing an oil change and changing out the air filter. But I figured as long as I'm changing out the air filter, I might try to install the cold air intake kit that I got. So I'll be doing that today. Other updates is I didn't do that on camera, but I had to replace my radiator. So this is a brand new radiator right here, the new radiator cap. The old one had a crack in it right around here where the hose met the plastic part. I don't know why this is made out of plastic, but I guess the original one, over time, through use, it just wore down and it cracked right here, and it was spraying coolant out of there. That's why you can see the engine bay is kind of covered in this this white stuff. That's the coolant. But go ahead and replace that with the OEM model. It was kind of a bitch because apparently they changed the transmission cooler lines between 2000 and 2003. So this radiator was an OE part, and it said it fit the 2003, but it had the lines for the old model. So how I found that out was that once I realized that the transmission cooler lines wouldn't fit, I actually went and checked my old van to see if maybe the old van's lines would fit, and they did. So I'd swap them over. And I didn't do that on camera because it was during a work day, and I had to basically call in sick and work on that. So I didn't really have time to finish everything if I was filming it as well. I mean, it was kind of I noticed that it was leaking one day on the way to work, and so the next day is when I replaced it. Other things I did is I added the transmission cooler while I was at it. Since I took all the transmission lines off the old van, I figured I might as well swap the transmission cooler over as well. So this is aftermarket. So there's how it works is there's an AC condenser, what do you call it, intercooler, and then behind that is the actual radiator fins, I believe, or maybe the condenser's behind the radiator. Either way, the order doesn't really matter. But then behind that is the transmission cooler, the stock one. So I added another one, so this one piggybacks onto the stock one. So there's two transmission coolers on this van now, which I had in my old setup as well, and that's been working really great. And hopefully that'll lengthen the lifespan of my transmission, because apparently those go out. So yeah, so today I'm basically going to be, since I have to replace the air filter anyway, I'll be swapping over to the con style and seeing if I can make that work. So the way to do this is going to be to remove this canister, right? And then seeing if this thing will fit on top here. This is the plenum thing that I got. It's low profile, and I could just cock it kind of the same way. So this will replace the air canister thing, except I see that there's a PCV valve thing here that I won't be able to route into the plenum. So I wonder if that's okay to just have open to free air. It probably operates off a vacuum though. I guess I could just pinch it off or something. So I don't know, I guess we'll see. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and take this off and see what we're working with. So we got that off. Gonna go ahead and remove the air filter. And this thing should just kind of slide off, yeah. I need to undo the hose in the front, but and this should just pop right out. So let me go ahead and undo the hose in the front so this comes loose, and then yeah. So I was able to get the air thingy off. I also got the tube off for the I believe this is to vent crankcase pressure. I could be wrong though. I'm not like a super expert about what all these doodads on the engine are. But so we got here the plenum, and this should fit right on top of there, create a nice seal. And yes, that looks like it's on there. So I just need to put the screw on the stay thingy. Oh wait, that's not gonna work. That doesn't fit. Did it come with its own thing? Let me look at some of the parts I have and see. Maybe I need a new retaining screw here. This looks like it could be removed, but this guy is too thick to fit into this hole, and the screw is not long enough to come down. So let me fiddle with this and see what parts I have, and then I'll get back to you. So I got a longer carriage bolt on there. I had to go to Home Depot, pick one up, but now this thing, if I can get it on, should fit. Let me use two hands, and then, but basically this will slide on. As you can see, the bolt's long enough to tighten down, and then that'll be it. Alright, so I got the plenum installed with the new carriage bolt, and I got the tubing from Spectre. It's just like this bendable tubing, and I got it in there. You can see from the front, it just comes off of there, right? And then it goes down, right? Nothing, looks like nothing's gonna bind. And then I actually have it going under the AC unit, the AC, whatever this thing is, right? And then it popping out right here, where the trim piece goes, and it actually fits. So this will be pretty easy to change in the future as well. I would just pull it out from here, and then, you know, I don't have to undo the hood or anything under the doghouse. So, and this trim piece actually fits right over it. If I can match it up, let's see here. There we go. It matches up, and then I just got to get it. There you go. Boom, bam, and you can kind of see it there under the headlight. But yeah, so there should be some airflow going to that, and technically it's cold air. I don't think it's really gonna make that much of a difference, just because the original, the OEM air intake isn't that bad as far as flow goes. But I won't have to change a filter as often. Maybe every 10,000 miles I can just, you know, brush it out and just air it out with the air compressor and clean it, and then use it for about 40 to 50,000 miles. Usually those cone filters last about that long, maybe 30,000 miles if I want to be safe. But I mean, those air filters don't cost that much. They're only like $10, but I don't know. I guess this is the moment of truth. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on and see what happens. All right. So I definitely hear some vacuum coming from here, vacuum noises. Oh yeah, you definitely hear that. So maybe I'll leave the camera here and then go rev it. So hopefully the camera stays. Hopefully it doesn't fall. But here we go, I'm gonna go rev it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard anything, but from inside the cab, there's definitely kind of a whooshing noise now. I'm checking for leaks here. I think everything's fine. It definitely sounds like it's going to the air filter, so yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Oh yeah, it definitely has that import. You know how when you turn off your car and it keeps sucking air? It has that noise now. So, pretty cool. I'm just gonna have... The other thing is the crankcase pressure relief thing that was connected to the original air box. I'm just gonna leave that just loose and have it fit to atmosphere. I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. But yeah, new cold air intake. Sweet. I don't think I'm going to get hit on by smog. If I get smog checked, I don't think they're going to hit me on this. Just because the original air filter didn't really have, you know, it's not, there's nothing to it. It's just an air filter, basically. So changing the plenum and stuff like that shouldn't really matter. I know they have laws, especially in California, about changing anything between your intake and your catalytic exhaust. But I mean, it looks stock enough that I don't think they'll really care. So if they do say something, I'll save my air element thing, and I'll just reinstall it real fast. It's not that big of a deal. It's pretty easy. It takes like 10 minutes. This took me a little bit longer. It took me about an hour, I would say, to install, just because I didn't have all the parts, and like, you know, I was trying to figure out where things go. But that's a good setup. Everything fits back on perfectly. I had to cut. So I did cut a little bit of sheet metal here just to create a little bit more space for the air filter to live. But this is, you know, this is not going anywhere. So I did cut about maybe 2 inches though inwards right here to make this hole. There was an existing hole right here, and I tried to make it fit through that hole, but the tubing wasn't long enough. So I ended up just cutting a little 2-inch of the sheet metal out, and then just shoving the air filter in. And this is kind of where it sits, just because the tubing is not long enough. So this is about as far as it'll come out. So I wanted to, ideally I'd wanted to kind of hook around and face down in here. You know what I mean? So the filter would live right here, so that it would benefit from the airflow coming through the grill here and catch some of that. But because the tubing's not long enough, it's gonna just kind of have to live there. And I'm okay with that, actually. I don't think that it's much worse than what it was, because the original air box came off, right, and there was a ram air kind of thing here that connected, so it would pull air from here in front of the radiator. So that air versus this air, kind of the same air. Probably more airflow would go if it was in the front, right? That's why I wanted the filter more to sit here. But sitting there, whatever, it's like 6 inches difference, you know what I mean? And I don't have to modify anything other than cutting the piece of sheet metal. I can still put the body piece back on, and it covers it up. As far as performance goes, I'm not expecting too much. I don't think the airflow is less restrictive, but if any at all. So if anything, I'd probably lose horsepower just because the tubing is a little bit longer. But the plenum is definitely, I don't know if the plenum is larger or smaller. I don't know what the airflow is like. I mean, it is designed by Spectre, so maybe they did some research and it flows better. I'm not sure. I think on the website it said it flowed like 415 CFM or something like that. Maybe it was more. Maybe it was like 678. I don't know. But basically, I'm just guessing at this point and feeding you guys BS. So I'll stop doing that. But I'll drive around and see how it feels. I don't expect anything, like I said. I don't expect it to sound any different either. But yeah, that's going to be the intake. I'm going to go ahead and do an oil change now and just clean some stuff up. And then that's pretty much it for the day. So yeah, thanks for watching.